Hey y'all, it's a little late, but I'm coming in here with it. I'm gonna review episode 9 and 10 first of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and then I'm gonna do episodes 11 and 12 of Jersey. I decided to split it up in twos because it'd be so much easier than trying to do four reviews in one. So here we go. Okay, Real Housewives in New Jersey. Okay, so first on episode 9, we see Paulie and Dolores, aka Buzz Lightyear, with love. Thanks to good old Frank. And they're talking about the whole beach house situation that happened when it was Margaret versus Danielle. It was Rachel Fuda versus Danielle. It was Teresa versus Joe. It was Teresa versus Melissa. It was Teresa versus Joe and Melissa. It was just a mess. It was just a lot going on at the Fuda's little shindig. And I still don't get why Rachel Fuda and her husband had that mermaid there. That was the weirdest, oddest, strangest. I was just looking. I was like, what is the point of the mermaid? I still don't get it. And guess what, guys? I guess it's not for me to get. And that's okay. Okay, so what else is going on? So, they're talking and stuff. They got on Frank not understanding why Dolores did not stay at his beach house. It's this whole thing about wanting Paulie to be around. Paulie, not really, but just, Frank is used to a certain kind of dynamic with Dolores. We all know their history and things that they've, been through. Dolores done took a lot of mess off Frank. And now she's finally in a solid relationship with a different kind of man. When Frank is very, what's the word? Free, loose, friendly. Y'all know Frank. And Paulie is a lot more traditional and structured and old school. And a lot of, and he's a more, I don't know the words to say. I don't want to say I'm more of a macho man, but y'all know what I mean. Hopefully. So he's a different kind of individual. But anyway, Dolores said that she's gonna talk to Frank and try to reason with him and get it together. We see next week when she do talk to Frank, he gonna be crying at the fool. It's a classic situation of you didn't want me when you could have had me, but now that somebody else got me, now you want me. It's just the classic thing. And Frank got a whole girlfriend, this little cute hot blonde named Brittany. But he just stuck on Dolores. But Dolores claims it's no romantic feelings. He's just used to them all just being family and stuff. But with Paulie there, it's like Paulie's kind of taken over, in that sense. But Frank is going to always be in the picture, whether Paulie like it or not. He's the baby daddy of her kids, who's always going to be around. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully they can somehow come to some resolve. They're not going to be friends, probably, because I don't think Paulie wants to be friends. But you can't really blame him either. So I don't know. Okay, moving on from that, we see the Fudas, and Rachel and John Fuda. Y'all know John has a son that's not by Rachel, older son. And then his other kids is by Rachel, but John's son has been in Rachel's life forever, and she wants to look into adopting him. But of course, she would have to go through the birth mom, and she's had different kind of issues and stuff. As to why she could not be the best mom for the son. And so, Rachel, she was like, I haven't had a conversation with her in years, and I just want to really get this over with, blah, blah, blah. Because she loves her stepson. which is great. And I love that she wants to adopt him. I love all that, but it's not going to be as easy as she thinks it's going to be. Um, so she's kind of in for a rude awakening, I feel, because they're still dysfunctional and all, messed up and all, crazy and all. That's still not your son. You still got to go through that mama. And then I saw a scene where they said that she has to sign over her rights to them, which, child, it's gonna be a mess. So Dolores and Jen, they meet up. They decide to settle their hatchet, kinda. And Jen, she was just like, she just felt like Dolores did not have her back when it came to the whole Margaret thing, and Margaret spreading this entire rumor. Well, not a rumor, basically telling the world about Bill's infidelity, which is why the little baby girl who we love, why she wants to be a therapist and stuff, and Jen was just never get over it, and blah blah blah. I like Jen, but Jen is funny. I like Jen, but Jen is very dramatic and extra, and she does sometimes take things too far. It's kind of like Margaret in a sense. Margaret is just a little bit more, I'll say, cutthroat with her approach, and it's a lot more toned down. She moves like more calculated Margaret, when Jen is just But they're both entertaining. They both deserve to be on the show. I enjoy both of them. They actually have similarities now that I talk about it, but they'll never admit it, right? So, her and Dolores, they kind of agreed to just move on from it. So Jen brings up that she knows this lady who is a psychic, and she reads coffee grinds out of a Turkish coffee cup. And so she wanted to possibly set this whole thing up where the girls get, their readings and stuff. And then Dolores suggested, we can do it at Paulie's house and stuff. And so she invites all the girls. Except for Teresa, she didn't come because apparently she was sick. Okay, moving on from that. Let me see. We get to the Gorgas. We see the Gorgas. They're still building on this home they've been building on for I don't know how long. Let me see. Melissa, she talks about how she's going to help Danielle with a pop-up shop. Danielle has this clothing line for kids called Bougie Kids. And y'all know Danielle be dressing her kids nice, and y'all know I like Danielle. I do. Okay. They started to talk about their favorite topic, the Gorgas, Louie and Teresa, and everything that's going on with them, and how they feel like Louie is fake and phony, and he's a part of the problem, but he sits in that like he doesn't. Apparently, when Louie left the conversation with Joe and Melissa when they were at the Fuda's house arguing, Joe and Melissa, they were blocked in by Louie's car, so they had to call Louie to come move his car. But for a long time, Louie was talking to Joe and Melissa while they were in the car after he moved his. And apparently, when he came back, he was crying and upset and blah blah blah. And the Gorgas was just like, "Child, please, tied and through." I do see Louie trying and making an effort, and I do think the folks that's seemingly keeping it going the most is the Gorgas, who keep dragging this entire beef out. But there has just been so much that has happened. Whoever threw the first punch, at this point, it's just being dragged out. Teresa throws her little digs in when she wants to. She may not be as extra as Joe Gorga and stuff, but every so often she'll throw a little something in now. I think Louis is a good guy. I think Louis is good for Teresa. However, I do see a little ticky boom in him. But to be fair, we all have a temper, right? We all have a little ticky boom. But all I'm saying is that all those women that had that stuff to say about him when he got with Teresa, I'm not saying it's true, but a little head tilt. But anyway, but we'll see. We'll see. We wishing everybody the best. Louis and Teresa are doing well now, so let's just hope it continues, child. Because Lord knows the Gorgas, Margaret, everybody gonna talk about it, child. They're just waiting for Louis to mess up. Let me see. Yeah, so they got on how all of a sudden other people in the group are invited. I know Dolores and Melissa, they're now bridesmaids apparently. And it's this whole thing of, of course, Melissa feeling some kind of way because her mom and sister-in-laws wasn't invited. Her mom and sisters was not invited and stuff. But it's like, apparently with Dina, I forgot her last name. I think she used to be on the show. Dina, husband had got into it with Louis. And they were originally in the wedding. And also, apparently, Dolores was not invited to Teresa's engagement party because of this Dina person. And her and Dina don't get along and can't stand each other. So I guess it was a situation where Teresa chose Dina over Dolores. But now, since they done fell out with Dina and David, since Louis got into it with Dina's husband, David, now all of a sudden Dolores and all of them is invited. And so it was just like, it's just crazy how, that happens. In which, if all that's true, that is shady, Teresa and Louis, child. And I remember last season at the reunion, Dolores was sitting there and basically Teresa was pretty much saying because Dolores didn't have Paulie at the time or whatever, or maybe she did, but they wasn't like together. Because at the time Dolores was single, she wasn't going to invite her or put her like in the wedding or something like that, which is really shitty. Like anybody could be single, anybody could be married. And no matter what a person's relationship status is, what does that determine anything? Like, this is your homegirl for how long? Like, I didn't like that from Teresa, I'm like, girl, I just hope everything, the way that you go hard for this relationship, I just hope that everything goes well. Because, in the words of Selena Johnson, when it all falls down, I'm telling you, love, it all falls down. When it all falls down, baby. They can't wait. Okay, let me see. Danielle talks to Melissa. Danielle talks to Teresa. It talks about how she ended up leaving after getting into it with Marge and Rachel. She felt some kind of way and she was just mad and irritated. And she just can't believe them and how they act. And she was bullied in high school. She was triggered and she decided to walk away. But now she's going to definitely stand up for herself because she did not like walking away. I'm a walk away kind of person too. As a 33-year-old big black man, I am, because at the end of the day, how the hell am I going to meet Mariah Carey in jail for knocking somebody upside their head real quick? I don't think I'm a strong person. I don't think I can fight or any of that. But at the end of the day, I guess I can, do damage or whatever. I don't know. Y'all like my form? That's my form. I guess I can do damage if I really wanted to. But who wants to? So it's just like, what's that gift? So it's like, I don't know. I'm a walk away kind of person too as an adult because I know what the system is and, I'm just one of many that's sitting up in there. So, yeah, but sometimes you do have to stand up for yourself. And definitely on these kind of shows, you got to stand up for yourself. For sure, because these girls will run all over you gladly. So Danielle got something for him, child. Okay, so we get to the coffee greetings. We see Miss Angie, which is the lady that's going to be reading the grinders and stuff. Like I said, Teresa wasn't there. She was sick. Everybody arriving. Everybody talking about Danielle before she actually gets there. Paulie's house is super nice. Let me see. Like I said, I already talked about Dolores and Jennifer. Also, they're now bridesmaids. And Melissa is still not a bridesmaid, nor is she in the wedding. And her sisters, nor mom. Well, I think they tried to invite the mom, but the sisters ain't invited or whatever in the wedding. And, you know, Teresa already said how she had beef with them back in the day. The side they chose, they were being petty, blah, blah, blah. And she still hasn't forgiven them. But, you know, it's interesting. It's interesting because we all have people who we have soft spots for, and it pretty much don't matter what they do to us, we will always take them back. And then we have other people that we will never take them back because we don't like them anyway. They're just kind of stuck together, connected in a certain kind of way. And I just think that's the situation with Teresa and Melissa. They are stuck together, connected. They are sister-in-laws. You know, Melissa is married to Teresa's only brother, biological brother. So, you know, it's always going to be a thing. She's always going to be around until they divorce. But she's still kind of going to be around because she is the mother to the kids. So it's just, you know, I don't know. It's so much that has happened and went down. It's really hard to get into this family stuff. It's a mess. Okay, let me see. Dolores, she invited the girls to Ireland. Her and Paulie, they had a beautiful time in Ireland, and she wanted to invite the girls to Ireland, which is cool. You don't see a lot of trips on these shows to like those kind of places. Okay. So we get to the readings. Dolores, the lady said that she's gonna get a ring soon. She's gonna be married soon. They said about Rachel that she's facing something really big and traumatic in her life, but she will come out on top. She said the biggest thing is adopting her stepson. Let me see. Talked about Margaret and a friend. Now, mind you, this is Jennifer and Teresa's friend now, the girl who reading the coffee grinds, the psychic. So, she talks to Margaret. It was just like, yes, this girl, let her start with an L, and she kind of put a knife in your back, but one day y'all will eventually be friends again. Then she went to Jennifer Aiden, and she talked about the youngest little girl and how, she will be offered endorsements when she get older and all that. And a few episodes back, Margaret and Jennifer Aiden got into it real bad. And Margaret made some kind of endorsements comment. And so now it's being brought up again. And Margaret and Jackie and pretty much the whole table think that it's orchestrated. What the psychic is saying. It's not a real psychic, feeling, coming up with stuff on your own kind of situation. It's a person that has been coached on what to say in the situation of whatever and blah, blah, blah. So I was just like, shy, man. Let me see. The psychic also said that Danielle will be reconnected with her brother at some point in the same way she cries and feels upset. He does the same. I just wonder what that situation is. How tiring. I just wonder. Is it really the woman? That's the issue. And Danielle's brother also cut their mom off too, but he still talked to the daddy. What is going on with that? Something don't sit right. And so then that's when Danielle confronted the girls, meaning Rachel mainly, and Margaret. And they pretty much just gaslighted her, tried to act like they didn't know what she was talking about, which is the most annoying thing in the world. Okay, so the next episode 10, we get to the Bougie Kids event. Melissa had a very cute pop-up shop for Danielle. It was adorable. And Danielle is talking to Melissa and Jennifer Aiden. She came by and she called Rachel a rat, which is a big offensive thing to be called in Jersey. She called her a rat and, for going back and telling Margaret what she said and blah, blah, blah. So then we have, let me see. We have Dolores and Polly. They're talking to his family. They're all Irish. Let me see. We see Teresa and Louie. Louis says that he's pretty much over Joe and Melissa. He was just like, it's whatever at this point. If they show up, great. If they don't show up at the wedding, great. So then we see Melissa and Joe. They're talking about Teresa again and how everything is a shame and blah blah blah. We get to Bill and Jen. The ladies, they're all packing to go to Ireland, and Jen says she's gonna try to do her best to ignore Margaret. And so yeah, let me see. For Margaret. So about infidelity. Okay, yeah. Okay, so moving on from that, we get on the plane and, this little commentary. Then we get on the bus when they actually get there. And we find out that Jennifer Fessler, that she allegedly, apparently, at one point slept with Tony Soprano. So, good for her. I believe it. So we get to the whole room situation. Teresa gets the best room. No, Dolores gets the best room, I think. And then Tarika gets the second best room, Teresa. And then Jen get the third best room. And everybody else is, assigned and whatever. Margaret had a bunk bed. I said, oh, okay. Let me see. Margaret and Jackie. I'm just realizing I don't really like Dolores with dark hair. I like her more with a lighter honey blonde color. That's just me. Let me see. The ladies sit down to eat. They started to talk about the coffee reader and that situation. And how they feel like it was BS. And I kind of do too, y'all. I'm sorry, Jennifer and Teresa, but I kind of do think it's too much of a coincidence, dear. Let me see. So, Jennifer, she ends up pulling Danielle off to the side because, this whole Laura thing keeps being brought up. So, Jennifer ends up telling Laura, told her not to say nothing, but Jennifer ended up telling Laura that, Jennifer ended up telling Danielle what Laura said, which is Margaret's best friend, who started this whole Margaret has an arsenal on people and stuff. So Sis had said that both Margaret, that this is according to Laura said that Melissa and Margaret have a mutual friend, and that mutual friend said that he saw Melissa get out of some man's back seat and they was kissing and stuff. That's what he said, apparently. He told Margaret told Laura told Teresa and Danielle, Teresa and Jennifer Aiden. And now Jennifer Aiden is telling Danielle. But don't want nobody to say nothing. This is all alleged, etc. And Teresa's just super pissed and upset about it and blah blah blah. And I'm like, Lord. Was that the episode, John? Y'all, I think so. I'm going to talk about episode 11 and 12 very soon. All right, y'all, stay tuned. With that said, I'm MrChalaki. MrChalaki on Google+. Follow me at Eskinsworld on Instagram and Twitter. At Eskinsworld89 on Snapchat. Chase King on Facebook. MrChalaki on Cash App and PayPal. And as always, run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.